Following the unexpected death of his wife, Ohio single-parent Matt Cox was left to take care of his 10-year-old daughter Bethany alone. Sadly, Bethany's mother passed away at the young age of 36 from an undetected congenital cardiac ailment. Welcome to USA Stories Channel. Do not forget to subscribe and activate the bell button to receive all new updates. Now let's go to the story. Matt, who was left to handle motherhood by himself, relied largely on his parents' assistance, which was sometimes reinforced by his tense relationship with his in-laws. Despite her father's steadfast love and care, Bethany struggled with a deep feeling of loneliness after losing her mother. In an attempt to make up for the lack of a mother figure, Matt lavished Bethany with love, maybe going too far at times, a typical mistake made by single parents trying to fill the gap left by a parent who has passed away. At first, Bethany seemed to be able to handle her sadness well. She kept a positive attitude and did well at school. But as she grew older, there was a discernible change in her actions. Bethany was originally a kind and outgoing youngster, but she started acting more aggressively. The principal of the school became worried and called Matt to talk about her behavior. Matt was taken aback by Bethany's sudden change in behavior, as he struggled to accept that his daughter was not the naive youngster he had thought her to be. Without the direction and encouragement of his late wife, Matt found himself struggling to manage the difficulties of being a single father while navigating Bethany's turbulent teenage years. After hearing the sobering story of Bethany's worrisome conduct from the school administration, Matt found himself toggling between amazement and dismay. Matt realized that he had a responsibility as a father to address the problem head-on, no matter how challenging it might be, despite the horrible reality that was playing out in front of him. The principal's description of Bethany's development into a disruptive force in the school community struck a deep chord with me. The once respected student had turned into a cruel abuser who cruelly inflicted mental suffering on her peers. When Matt saw how serious his daughter's offenses were and how much of an effect they had on other people, his heart fell. Despite being ashamed of Bethany's behavior, Matt decided to deal with the matter head-on. He saw the seriousness of the principal's worries and agreed that Bethany's conduct ought to have repercussions. Matt was unsure of how to proceed, but he was unwavering in his resolve to bring responsibility and order back. Matt was given a clear wake-up call when the principal announced Bethany's interim expulsion and subsequent suspension from the bus. It served as a stark reminder of how quickly he needed to step in and help his daughter get back on the right track. Matt steeled himself for the difficult road ahead as they left the principal's office, resolved to face the challenges of motherhood head-on. "Mr. Cox, we need to talk to Bethany about her behavior on the school bus. Her classmates are distressed as a result of her behaviors, and such conduct is not acceptable," the principal firmly remarked. "As a result, she will be suspended from using the bus service for 1 week, making it clear how serious the matter was. I wholeheartedly concur with your choice, Mr. Principal. Bethany will get the discipline she needs. As her parent, I accept responsibility and promise to see to it that the necessary steps are made to stop it from happening again." Matt firmly said, "Bullying is wrong, and I won't allow my daughter to continue with this kind of conduct." His eyes shifted to Bethany, who stayed silent during the exchange. When Matt got home, he tried to figure out why his daughter was acting the way she was. He approached Bethany with a composed expression, trying to get a sense of her feelings and behavior. "Loveheart, I'm having trouble understanding why you're behaving in this manner. You have always been gentle and caring. What worries you? Do you have anything you would want to share with me?" And though he begged her sincerely, Bethany would not respond to her father's questions. Matt became more and more frustrated, asking her to explain herself and even wondering whether her actions were related to her missing her deceased mother. However, Bethany remained silent and distant despite his efforts. Matt was frustrated and disappointed at the same time as he faced the stillness. "Bethany, I've always supported you and given you anything you required. Why are you acting so hostilely toward your classmates? Is Mom to blame for it? Are you missing her? Please have a conversation with me." However, Bethany remained silent, leaving Matt to struggle with unsolved concerns. and the disturbing conclusion that his daughter was becoming more inwardly focused and unresponsive to his attempts to reach out. Seeing that trying to talk sense into Bethany's actions would not work, Mr. Cox took a firm action in reaction to her actions. He decided that during her week-long bus suspension, he would not drive her to school. He chose to make the disciplinary action public in order to emphasize how serious the consequences were. Notwithstanding the challenges of being a single father, Mr. Cox was not one to back down from adopting contemporary trends. Using his smartphone, he shared glimpses into his carpentry career and chronicled his everyday life with Bethany. "Bethany, we'll do things the hard way if you're unwilling to cooperate," Mr. Cox said, his tone indicating how serious the issue was. "You will do your homework and study at home while you are suspended. I won't be driving you to school in my automobile when the time comes to go back without the convenience of the bus." Bethany fiercely objected to her father's choice, expressing astonishment and dismay in her response. "Do you think I'll walk to school? That is really crazy. It's really cold outside. I need you to take me on a drive. You're my father," she cried out in a terrified voice. Mr. Cox reaffirmed his position with unflinching commitment, stressing the significance of learning accountability and the repercussions of Bethany's conduct. "As your father, I have the authority to determine how you'll attend school," he said. "You are being punished for your recent actions. Maybe it will teach you to be more understanding and appreciative of the benefits you have. That's the only thing involved." Mr. Cox left Bethany to think about what he had said, closing the door firmly behind him. She was left to face the consequences of her actions, anger still visible in her eyes. After serving her first week of home confinement, Bethany began the second portion of her sentence for the acts of bullying involving her peers. She showed that she had come to terms with her father's choice when she accepted the consequences and did not argue anymore. Matt, on the other hand, kept his promise and recorded all of the consequences, along with the reasoning and goals that led to the severe penalty. Cox gave a decisive and concise explanation of his reasoning for the penalty. "When the school principal informed me that my daughter would be unable to utilize the school bus for a week, I saw it as an opportunity to instill in her a sense of gratitude and impart a valuable lesson for her actions," he said with conviction. He went on to emphasize the difference between rights and privileges in his speech. "A lot of kids consider the perks their parents offer, such school transportation, to be rights rather than privileges. My daughter is going to learn differently today. My goal is to lead by example and reiterate my dedication to addressing bullying in all its manifestations," he declared. Cox talked on how harsh the penalty was, making sure his daughter was safe in the icy weather and following her to see how she was doing. "In 20-degree weather, my daughter is walking 5 miles to school. Although there are others who may not agree with this method, it is a painful reminder of the luxury that comes with driving a car to school," he said. Cox stuck to his position in the face of possible criticism. "It's clear to me now, bullying is unacceptable, especially in my family," he said in a later post, which included a picture of his daughter's path with him following closely after. For Bethany and her father, the week was difficult, but in the end, the result was favorable. Later, Cox updated his article to reflect on the insightful lessons his daughter had learned and her fresh perspective. The fundamental message of Cox's approach, which some may find harsh, remains unmistakable. Parents need to step in when their children participate in bullying behavior. While schools are vital in tackling these kinds of problems, parents' responsibility is just as important in enforcing rules and encouraging modifications in behavior. As she served her sentence, Bethany thought back on what she had done and how it affected other people. She apologized sincerely to her professors, fellow students, and the principal of the school. In addition, she made amends with her father and resolved to go to counseling in order to deal with her behavioral problems. The experience of Bethany serves as a sobering reminder of the widespread bullying that many families must deal with. It emphasizes how important it is for everyone to work together to fight this quiet threat by using strict discipline and education. Please remember to subscribe to our channel, give us a thumbs up, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of our videos. If you enjoyed the tale, the next video that plays on your screen will probably move you too.